Armada Book 1 Chapter 8 The Reception Part 3. Have you started the factory already? Have you started building starships? Well, we have got the factory going but no starship on production yet. Our people are still in training on the new technologies. We started to make 4 transport ships because they're simple to produce and they're now 40% done. Maybe when we get smarter we can start producing the starships. Right now we are concentrated on the plasma weapons and transport ships. The most important factor is always the right people with the right skills. We have a lot of these if you want. I can send maybe 10,000 for you to train your people so you can get your act rolling. And Andrew, you don't have to pay me. We are really getting someplace. That's good, Roden. That would be very welcome and just what we need. Thank you. Our people want to express their thanks also. They believe that your race was sent from heaven to help us in our time of need and made us reflect where we came from and how we should move forward. Our technology made us lazy, complacent and waiting to be enslaved. So we are now taking action. The training is tops. Now they are dying to infiltrate enemy ships, hack data and plant bombs and still be nice guys. They realize that there are bad guys out there ready to enslave us and they feel they should always be prepared. The world simply got better for them. And now you're bringing ice cream to your world. That's even better. I realized I was the last to taste your ice cream and my crew has already made arrangements not only on ice cream but a whole slew of wines, beers, spices, herbs, some clothing and movies. Ambassador Gilkin entered the conversation. We are ahead of you, Roden. We started shopping online years ago. Now our people look more colorful and they talk of new worlds, more accepting and more at peace. The roast pig is to die for, still warm and fresh. What are you guys talking about? Albert asked. Well, food, wines, beers, ice cream, clothes. Andrew said. My ship is full to the hilt of gifts and orders from the council. I particularly like your brandy so I had Gadden get me 2 truckloads of it. Ambassador Gilkin said. You know, Roden, Ambassador, it's a good thing being president is only for a few years. 3 more years and I'm out. I would rather travel the universe and eat all the food, drink the wine and spirits, meet the people and be a representative of unity among our people. Albert said. Well said. Unfortunately for me, this will be a lifetime. But I screwed up my life too long already so this is my fate. And I'm happy. I hope to transfer my position to my son in a few years. Gilkin said. So when can we get off the boat, Timmy? Maybe another 100 years, once we can have things in place and people in place, we can leave the government and do shit like before. Elaine butted in, nobody is doing shit. You cannot be teenagers again. I am led to believe that that was a joke. Anyway, the next 3 years are defining ones for our planet. We would have to break the news within that time. Albert said. Anything I can do to help breaking it in, just tell me. Roden said. Albert, if your party wins we won't have to. Remember, whomever you endorse will become the next president. The war ended in your first term and you started an unprecedented growth largely due to the fusion economy. Everybody is happy, so why would your party not win? Timmy added. You may be right, but we cannot keep this up for a long time. If we win, we may not need to out this, but as time goes by, it will be harder and even harder for us to keep the information from getting out. Meanwhile, Julia, Danny and Ellie were busy talking to the Germans and the Japanese. Thank you, Minister Werner, for the 20,000 troops. You know, General Ishikawa now has 200,000 troops in training in Planet Tokyo. He committed 50,000 and will be assigned in 50 starships before the end of next month. That's a good 1,000 per ship. Julia said. They really have more troops than we do. Our concentration is developing the industries on planet Berlin. We are now producing plasma weapons and our capacity is growing. We have assigned at least 200 of our scientists in the ships and about 1,000 in the Inky and Mac home worlds. We are also assigning more scientists in the ships and more than 5,000 in the Inky and Mac home worlds. So I believe we are doing great progress. Ishikawa said. We heard Roden just gave Andrew an order the other day for a lot of plasma weapons. Maybe you can help him with the order. Julia said. That's good. I will talk to him later. Werner said. Beth Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, joined the conversation. We just started to get people in Planet Toronto and it seems you guys are well ahead of us. We need some of your troops, Prime Minister. You know it's not a walk in the park out there. There are really bad guys out there with no reason not to kill our people. You can start sending troops to your planet and follow the crash training programs the other countries have agreed to go through. This troop exchange is really an investment you take for your future security as a planet. Julia said. Establishing colonies is not an easy task. Planet Los Angeles has started more than 2 years ago and it's still looking for people. Like the Germans, we would like to send our scientists ahead and try to establish a science outpost with the military outpost. We are just now coming out with a recruiting program that will be fair and acceptable to our people. Beth said. That's fine, but at least add more to the 2,000 men you sent over to the Germans to train. Julia said. Vicky was busy talking to the scientists on planet Los Angeles and the 2 server doctors. So how do you find your new jobs, girls? We are working to understand some of the technologies and find applications for Earth. We may have to go to the Treadle Galaxy to do research. Gina said. And not only that, we can also be involved in developing their technology together with their scientists. Gabby said. The president asked me to head all off-world science and research and based it in planet Los Angeles. I have looked at the database and it's enormous. They were not kidding when they said we would take thousands of years to learn them. Vicky said. Then I'm back working for you. I like working for you. Gina said. I liked your speech, it made me cry. It made me reflect that 3 months ago I was so lost in my science I thought I was at the top of the world, but now I feel like a 2-year-old child with so many things to learn. The universe suddenly began to make more sense to me. Gabby said. Look at me and Andrew, he goes out to face the bad guys and sees the universe full of bad guys. We see the world as exciting to learn and grow our civilizations. He may go out and never return. The universe is a big place to die. Ironically, I see the world for humans suddenly get much brighter amidst the danger. The reception lasted until the wee hours of the morning. By midnight Andrew and Vicky and the older generation retired, leaving the younger Earth people and most of the Macs and Inkies to party. The next day, at late afternoon in planet Los Angeles. Andrew woke up in his new home in planet Los Angeles. He got a call from Ellie in his implanted comm device. She is at her folks' house and wanted to assemble the team already and said Roden has started to organize his ships to arrive in 6 hours to the planet to get the cannons installed and the small plasma weapons. Andrew found Vicky in the kitchen and as they ate brunch Andrew told her about the problem. There are 8 million Macs enslaved in one of the planets about 90 MLY from planet Denver, which is 370 MLY from here. Roden wants to go over there and pull them all out. I probably would bring 12 of my ships and Roden around 270, and we think these would be enough to transport the whole population out. I know we should be on our honeymoon for a few days, but we would like to stop their suffering not a day more than they need to. I hope you understand. We probably will leave in 4 days. This is now our life, Andrew. At least we have 4 days together. I will go to the science center tomorrow and set up shop. We have the whole day today until tomorrow when the ships arrive. The next day Olive appeared at the living room and said the ships have started to install the new cannons. Andrew kissed Vicky, who was still in bed, and I need to supervise the logistics for the operations and the provisions for the Mac refugees we would be saving. Go ahead, see you at lunch at the science center. Andrew and Olive beamed into the bridge and the team is there already. 260 of Roden's ships will get their cannons installed in 3 days. The factory has improved the weapons' performance considerably. Now the range is longer and therefore more accurate at shorter distances. They also look better, much sleeker with the use of stronger metals. Finally, they can fire in quicker succession than before and not overheat. Ellie reported. After a few days they started their journey to planet Denver. The Mac supply ships are late. I have lost communications with them. I believe they are lost. Olive said. Tell Colonel Phillips to look for those Mac ships. And tell Roden to assign 1 ship to accompany Colonel Phillips? We will rendezvous 60 LY from the target planet. Roden appeared as a hologram in front of Andrew. I will have 2 ships accompany Colonel Phillips. One of these ships has a long-range scanner. Let's go ahead. The next day they were 60 LY from the planet the Macs called Baona. At the mission room in Andrew's ship, the top commanders were gathered to discuss their plans. This will be a standard refugee evacuation process. We tag the Macs, beam them over, and leave the planet. Roden said. Of course we are sending security teams to make sure we can respond quickly and some hackers to gather intel. I have dispatched several dozen probes so we can have a visual of the grounds. Ellie said. I want a quick in and out. We have mapped out the target Mac locations and grids and are assigning the taggers and security accordingly. It helps that they are all concentrated in their ghettos. No communication and no touching. Make sure they do not hear your thoughts when you are alone with them. We don't want to alarm them, we just want to beam them into our ships, then we can talk to them or touch them when they are here. The grid assignments are pretty detailed, although I see from the screens there are 4 ships handling more than the rest. Roden commented. With 300,000 taggers the Mac population was tagged in 4 days. On the second day, they started beaming them out onto the ships. Andrew, Colonel Phillips would be here in 3 hours with the transport ships. It's about time, Olive, we are running out of supplies. Roden said and appeared as a hologram on Andrew's bridge. Roden, spare 5 of your ships and I will spare 3 of mine from taking in the Max refugees. We may need to recon the Marindy planets and hook up with Tony and see what's up. Good idea, Andrew. Once we are on our way back, we'll leave the group and head for Tony. Ellie appeared as a hologram on Andrew's bridge. General Man, some of the hackers got into the rebel systems and are trying to get more intel. That's good news, we may have to get intel from their enemy as well. Gadden appeared as a hologram on Andrew's ship. Gadden, can you get hold of the rebels, tag them so we can talk to them or read their minds? Roden said. Good idea, Roden, it may take a little time to know who these are. The hackers have yet to generate who the personalities involved are. Gadden said. You only need one, bring them here and have a Mac touch them. Ellie said. Okay, we're bringing in the owner of the hacked consoles. The person will be in Andrew's brig. Gadden said, looking at Ellie. Olive, let's go. Andrew said. Andrew found Ellie, Gadden and Roden in the brig. 2 Marines have chained the subject and a Mac is starting to conduct a mind read. My name is Ratanta and I am Garanti, the prisoner said. She looks like a she, right Ellie? Andrew whispered. How do we know you are not Marinti? Ellie asked. You are Inki, our Roti Baskar told us your story. You destroyed over 100 ships without firing a shot. That is why the Marintis are assembling an armada of over 1,000 ships and over 3 million warriors to head to the Inki galaxy in revenge. Ratanta said. That's good intel. Andrew noted. Do you have the coordinates of the Inki target planets? Roden asked. Yes, but my partner has them. Who is your partner and where is he now? Gadden asked. He lives in a house across my house to the left. He goes by the name of Salgarin. We have him, Andrew, a Mac is tagging him now. Olive said. In a few seconds, Salgarin appeared beside Ratanta. Where am I? Salgarin asked. These are the Inkis who are trying to get the Maquis out. Ratanta answered him. How do you know we are trying to get the Macs out? Ellie asked. The Maquis are starting to disappear. They are just waiting. The Marintis are alarmed and fear an invasion is coming. Salgarin said. Do you know the target planets in the Inki galaxy? Roden asked. Yes, it is what the Inkis call Kuntamar. That's the capital planet almost right in the middle of the Furlit galaxy. I believe we should leave the pack and get to Tony ASAP. Roden said. I agree. Andrew said. Let us come with you so we can contact our leaders. Salgarin suggested. You can come with us but no contact will be allowed. Olive, make sure they have no tracking or communications device on them. Andrew said. Gadden announced, the Macs have finished getting their information. One that struck the mind readers most was all the refugees believed the 2 Mac brothers were traitors so they shut them out. I think we should exert some effort to look for the 2 brothers who started it all. I am leaving you in charge, Roger, make sure you get these Macs out and get them home. Andrew said. On the way back, we'll warn the Furlits about the invasion. Rogan said. Are you in good terms with them already, Roden? Andrew asked. No, they still hate us, and I am sure they will not believe Roger's warning. All the ships are prepared to leave, Andrew. Olive said. Let's go. Roden said and Andrew nodded.